Sponsored by
Forge Master.
Welcome back to Jono's Minis. Today I'm showing you 5 things I wish I knew when I started miniature painting. Let's get into the video. I'm going to show you all these things I wish I knew back then that I know now. So let's go. Here's a list of all the paints used today. If you want to pause it to take a look, do that now. When deciding between the 3 I wanted to paint, I thought I'd pick the one with 2 spears, the female character with the shield. It was a close call between this one and the one that was in movement, jumping. Tip number 1 is to thin your paints. I know you hear this all the time across all of YouTube on any painting video you've ever seen, but it really is so important. You'll see throughout the video I use the words opacity. It just means how much paint to water ratio we're going to be using. Thinning your paints is going to give you such a better and more natural look on every miniature you ever do, and it's a good habit to get into, always thinning your paints. It will take longer, you'll have to do multiple layers, but believe me, the end result will be worth it. Your friends are going to be really impressed when you take these to the tabletop. Even if you're mixing 2 different paints, still add water and keep the opacity down. Do multiple layers, it will take a while. The colours will look better, the transitions will look smoother, and the actual paint applied will be better. Tip number 2, don't buy every paint in a shop. I know it's tempting, and I know I've done it myself, but you really don't need to. Just buy the primary colours and a few extra ones that you like the look of. You can add to your collection throughout time, you don't have to buy them all at once and commit to spending hundreds of pounds on little pots of paint. I know that I wasn't the best example, but I'm lazy, and I've bought loads of paints, but you don't need to. Save yourself the money. Buy more minis. Tip number 3, I know you hear this everywhere, and mainly Squidmar, but buy a wet palette. Save yourself the headache of your paints drying out too quickly. Your paints are going to last 10 times longer. It's going to be so much more easier to thin it down naturally through the wet palette. You won't get blotchy, heavy, sticky paint sticking to your model and ruining everything. You can have nice, long-lasting paint, and it'll be the easiest way to thin your paints, the most natural way, and it will make your entire day of painting far more enjoyable, and you won't be wasting paint. You can put the lid back on and it will last until the next day if there's enough water in the bottom. I use a Redgrass Games wet palette. I bought it on Amazon for 20 quid and I've used it every day since, and it's amazing. You don't need to buy the sheets if you don't want to. You can just use parchment paper from your kitchen, a bit of wet towel, get a wet palette, save yourself the paint, save yourself the headache, and this is going to instantly take you to the next level of understanding how to apply and thin paints naturally rather than always go into your water pot. Just keep that paintbrush nice and moist, add a bit of water to it every now and again, dry it off, and then mix your paints on the wet palette. Thank me later. Tip number 4, copy your favourite artist. I did this with a Space Marine. I was trying to copy Jose da Vinci. He did a blue Space Marine and I used his Instagram photo as reference. That's all I did. I just looked at it, looked where he put his shadows, his highlights, his battle damage, how he made the plasma gun glow, and that's all I did. I tried to copy it. There was no video, I just thought that looked cool and I want to do it again. And I'm trying it again now on a Squid Mangler, Sergio Calvo. These are some of my favourite artists, and I think it's the best way to get some motivation when you're a little bit running low on it. Even if you think it's too hard for you, you may as well try, and your results probably are going to be a little bit better than what you think they are. So always push your comfort zone, always try new techniques, and try and copy your favourite artist. If you post it on Instagram, just make sure you tag them and say it was inspired by this artist. But if anything, I think it's a good thing for the community and the painting hobby, and definitely try it. Even if your result doesn't look like your favourite artist at the end, it doesn't matter because you gave it your best attempt, and you probably learnt 6 or 7 different things along that painting journey than you would have if you painted an army from start to finish 20 times over in the same paint scheme. Thanks for today's sponsor, Forge Master Studios. Forge Master Studios is a new Kickstarter campaign with over 60 core models currently available, and over 40 more in development. Based on the Wheel of Time book series, these epic minis are unique and offer endless possibilities for your D&D adventures or your painting table. Forge Master Studios is currently only $500 off reaching their $2,000 goal. Once hitting their goal, they'll be releasing an extra 2 hero characters for any supporters. Look how cool this guy is. And this guy. But seriously, these minis are epic, and it'd be a shame if you didn't go check it out. You'd be missing out. So go check them out. Everything will be linked down in the description. Their Frontier finishes in the next 2 days, so go check it out now whilst you still can. Thanks once again for Forge Master Studios for sponsoring this video, and let's get back to it. Tip number 5, always try and paint something different. You're not going to learn anything if you paint an army of 50 minis, all the same style, all the same paint scheme. You're not going to learn anything. Your first one will be not as good as your last one, but you're not learning new techniques, and it will get very boring, and it's the fastest way to burn out. I learnt this doing a towel commission. After the 40th model, I was so bored, I didn't want to paint them anymore. To keep it interesting, do things you don't always normally do. Even if you don't like the mini, just try and do something a little bit out of your comfort zone and keep pushing yourself. You might not enjoy it at the time, it might be a bit annoying. For example, I made a video of painting with only one colour, blue, for the Ice Troll video. It was my second video. Go check it out. It really made me push myself to think about how I would make shadows and highlights with only the colour blue, white and black. Really kind of took me to the next level really quickly at the beginning of my painting journey. Go check it out, it's a really cool video, and I think you should go try it yourself. Now then, I'm just going to finish off the base and the model, and I'm just going to let some music play, and you can just watch how I do it.
Take it away, feeling too good to me. Chilling all day, all in your space is where I wanna be. Here in this room, what did you do? I just can't get enough. Too caught up in your love. I've been trying to forget, but you won't let me. Something in my brain wants you. I've been hanging on myself, asking for help, but nothing seems to work on you. Yeah. You always make me feel like, oh yeah. You never leave my thoughts alone, yeah. You're the reason I'm going out of my mind. I just can't stop thinking about you. All that I crave when you're away, nights are sleepless. Do we need space? Yeah, maybe you're brave, boy, you're my weakness. Giving we take, the love that we make is my...
As always guys, thanks a lot for watching. Share it with your friends, check out my socials, maybe check out my Patreon, and all that other thanks for Forge Master for sponsoring this video, it means a lot. I don't know how I got sponsored with this many subs, but I did, so that's great. And I hope you learned something, and like I said, I wish I knew these when I started painting. Share the love. See you in the next one guys. Thanks a lot for watching.